In Roth v. United States, Samuel Roth was convicted under a federal statute criminalizing the sending of obscene materials through the mail. This case was argued on April 22, 1957, and decided on June 24, 1957. I'm Joseph Bryson. The court, in this circumstance, got the decision completely and utterly correct. I strongly believe that the First Amendment does not protect obscenity and obscene materials.
My name is Wayne Fullwider, and the court's decision paints with such a broad brush that I fear that it may result in a loosening of the tight reins which the state and federal courts should hold on the enforcement of obscenity statutes. Also, the court fails to discriminate between the different factors.
In Oregon v. Smith, Alfred Smith and Galen Black were members of a Native American church and counselors at a private drug rehabilitation clinic. They were both fired because they had ingested peyote, a powerful ethogen, as part of their religious ceremonies as members of the Native American church. This case was argued on November 6, 1989, and decided on April 17, 1990. Hello, I'm Robert Reiser. The respondents are of the opinion that the state law directly infringes on their right to free exercise of religion and thus should not be applied to them. It is unconstitutional to fire an individual simply for participating in their religious beliefs.
My name is John Delaney. A Bear Court majority severely restricted the scope of the application of the traditional compelling interest balancing test for assessing claims of burdening of the religious practice and provided no real substitute test.
In Ingraham v. Wright, James Ingraham was a 14-year-old 8th grade student, and on October 6, 1970, he was accused of failing to leave the stage of the auditorium when asked to do so. He was then taken to the principal's office, where Willie Wright Jr., the principal, ordered Ingraham to bend over so he could spank Ingraham with a spanking paddle. When he declined to do so, He was forcibly placed face down on top of a table. The assistant principal held Ingram's arms and an assistant to the principal held Ingram's legs. Wright used a spanking paddle to hit Ingram more than 20 times, causing a hematoma. His parents sued the school, calling it cruel and unusual punishment and loss of liberty, but lost the case. This case was argued on November 2nd through 3rd, 1976, and decided on April 19th, 1977.
I'm Deborah Lean. I'd like to point out that the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment had always been applied to the punishment of convicted criminals. The court, therefore, did not apply the ban to the non-criminal context such as school discipline.
My name is Peter Nin, and I agree with Justice Bryan White and his dissent. It is evident that nowhere in the Eighth Amendment can the word criminal be located. So, how could the court impose that limitation? It simply cannot.